What's up, you sexy YouTube mother lovers? Legend says that Brandon Herrera actually has a trademark on that, and if you use that, you owe him 3 kisses. I'm coming for those kisses, Brandon. I want those kisses. Okay, the Zastava Z92. So Zastava has been making AKs for a very long time for Serbia, formerly known as Yugoslavia. And they've been importing AKs through Century Arms for a very long time. Unfortunately, as we all know, if we know anything about AK imports, Century Arms kind of biffed it for a long time. So therefore, a lot of the Serbian and Yugoslavian AKs had a lot of issues. Whether it just be tolerance issues or just issues with anything. Now, fortunately, I'm gonna go ahead and spoil it for you guys. This doesn't have those issues. This AK is great. Well, so far, I haven't had any issues out of it. We've shot a little over 1,000 rounds, probably around 1,100, 1,200 rounds through it, and I haven't had one malfunction out of it. It's been fantastic, and we've been shooting like just cheap ammo because that's all anyone can afford now anyways, because cheap ammo is the same price as expensive ammo. But anyways, I digress. So, what is the Z92? It is the little brother, the short version of the Zastava M70, which is the 16-inch variant of the Serbian rifle. So, this is a 10-inch pistol, a 10-inch barrel pistol, 7.62x39 AK variant. Has a few differences from the Russian block AKs. There's a few things that are different, some just like little furniture differences and stuff like that, but at the end of the day, it's still an AK. So it still runs like an AK, it does things that AKs do. So we'll start from the tip to the butt of this thing. So starting out in the muzzle, you have left-handed threads, just like most weird Russian block weapons. I'm gonna give a disclaimer here. So if I say anything that's wrong, I'm sorry. I don't know very much about AKs. I know there's hundreds of different variants, and I'm sure there's gonna be some AK people that are out here foaming at the mouth because I said this was a lot like an AK from Russia, because it's still an AK, and I'm sorry. But to me, it's all the same. It's a long stroke piston gun that shoots 7.62x39, and it's riveted together. I'm sorry. But anyways, left-handed threads, so which means lefty tighty, righty loosey, kind of odd. Moving back, we have the piston and we have wooden furniture that it came with. I don't have wooden furniture on anymore. I'll go over that in a minute. We keep coming back. We have a non-coated bolt carrier group and bolt, which is, I say it's odd, but it's what Zastava does. They're one of the only people, so that's why they have this silver bolt carrier group instead of the black ones, the nitrided ones. And then moving up, they also, this one features a hinge dust cover, which is nice. So when you open it, it stays hinged and it keeps zero. I have confirmed that this keeps zero when you open it and close it like that. So no shifts in zero, which is really good. It's really great. It's a nice and sturdy thing. And it comes with a rail on top that's already Loctited and good in. And I haven't had any issues with it as far as losing zero throughout the 1,000 rounds I've put through it. And I haven't been necessarily rough on it. I haven't dropped it and thrown it around, but I haven't been gentle with it either. Moving back, it comes with like the SIG type Picatinny things for the braces and stuff, and we just opted to go with a buffer tube and an SBA4. It just made sense. And then, so other than that, that's about it. And it's essentially just an AK. You know, it does AK things. Now that we're done with the features with it, we'll talk about the AK, what it's like to shoot and everything. So when we very first got this AK, it was a violently overgassed AK. It actually knocked me around. I'm a pretty big dude, not tall. I'm pretty short. So the recoil on this, even with it just being 7.2 at 39, was pretty violent. But the first 1,000 rounds that we did through it was stock as far as the internals go. I didn't mess with the piston. I didn't do anything like that. I had no issues. I don't have any abnormal wear, nothing like that. It looks a lot like what they got at AK Operators Union, which is they did a fantastic like 5,000 round review on this. So if you really want to know more in depth about how it holds up and the tolerances and everything, I would watch that because they do great and they don't have any issues with theirs either, from what I understand. So it did fantastic. Luckily, I've been looking for one, and K&S finally emailed me, and I bought a piston from them, the adjustable gas piston for this, which is fantastic. It is 100% a must. It changes the recoil so much, and it makes this thing so much different every gun to shoot. Of course, it's not like 5.56 recoil or anything like that. It's still pretty thumpy, but it is nowhere near what it was. I still enjoyed shooting the gun without the K&S piston. So, like, don't get me wrong, it's still very, very enjoyable to shoot. The K&S piston just made it really nice. So, like, if you can't find a K&S piston for it, you're like, I don't want to buy this gun because I don't want the piston. I don't want to. Don't think like that. It's still fun to shoot. But if you can grab one with it, grab one. You know, it's nice. It's really enjoyable. So some things that I've changed on this one will go down again. So it came with the regular AK. I think it's called a booster. It's like the one with the bell on the end of it. It shot a huge freaking fireball and it was miserable and all that good stuff. So this one's still miserable, but there's no fireball with it, which I prefer. A Manicore Arms 3-prong brake, which just threads right on. I put a Midwest Industries M-Lock rail on the bottom of it, or handguard, I guess you could say, and then just with the Streamlight Pro tack on there, which is actually run fine on this. And then we put a HoloSun 507C with a ScalarWorks mount on the rail back here, just for an optic. And that's really all we've changed, you know, besides the SBA4 being on here. And, I changed the Magpul to a Magpul K2 grip for this. Other than that, everything's pretty much the same on it. Everything's stock. The only internal that we changed is the K&S piston, and like I said, I've had no issues with that. I really do enjoy shooting this gun. It is a lot of fun to shoot. I've had no issues out of it, and I know I'm rambling. So another thing, issues with tolerances and everything, which I didn't mention this, but Zastava went from importing guns through Century Arms and just said screw it and made Zastava USA. And so now Zastava USA just makes guns in-house and sends parts, you know, back and forth and stuff like that, but to keep it 922R compliant. So that's cool. And like I said, we've got just a great little gun here so far. And everyone that I've seen seems really like theirs. And again, like I said, I've had serious issues out of this one. Actually, the only malfunctions I had out of this, which is kind of a lie, was when I was adjusting the K&S piston, which is, we understand that's going to happen. Magazine fitment. So I've got these Croatian steel mags, and they fit in here really well. And then the Magpul plastic mags fit great. There's a little bit of wobble, but nothing crazy. It comes with this mag that has a last round bolt hold open, so the Zastava mag fits in there fantastic. It feels great. And then the US Palm mags fit in there really tight, and they don't even really wobble. They feel great, and I've had no issues. All these mags have run just fine in the gun. You know, there's been no feeding issues like that, no hiccups or anything like that. A lot of people too, like when they get AKs, they say you need to change the triggers out. I don't think so. I think this is a fine trigger. I can run it still pretty fast, you know, sub 0.1 splits, you know, like 0.14s, not sub 0.1 splits, but 0.14, 0.12 splits and stuff like that. And
bend bump stocks.
And, the trigger's just different. That's something you need to get used to. It's not like an AK trigger. There's not, I mean, an AR trigger, excuse me. There's no defined wall. It's just kind of all mush and then goes. So I mean, we can look at it here and you can see, and it just, there's no, it just rolls. It just rolls into it and then breaks. So it makes shooting with precision and accuracy a little bit hard because you don't have anything to like, you know, really, there's no predictability to it necessarily unless you get a lot of rounds on it. But it makes shooting fast insane. Like it shoots really fast, resets really nice, stuff like that. So I opted not to put an ALG trigger in it, just to leave the trigger the way it was because I liked it. I had no problems with it. I'm sure the ALG triggers are fantastic. Everyone across the board says ALG triggers are great, so I don't know. So we'll go into what's it like to shoot this thing. AKs are kind of, so this is coming from an AR guy. I've shot ARs. That's what I have, you know, most of my time on is AR-15s and stuff like that. I don't much care for it. I bought it because 7.62 was cheaper than 5.56, and I've never had an AK before, and I want to try it. It is a fun gun to go to the range and shoot and run, but it is hard. 9 times out of 10, if you put the same amount of training in that the person with the AR puts in on this, they will beat you. Ergonomically, I think AR-15s are just so much better. They recoil less, they feel better. They, you know, mag changes are much easier, all of that stuff. So if it really came down to it and I had to grab a gun to go to war with, like if I had an AK and an AR sitting beside, I would grab an AR all day long. Not saying that you couldn't with this. This is great. You know, like I said, I had no issues with it or anything and blah, blah, but it's just, there's so many steps. Reloads take time. The rock and magazines are really easy to screw up. It's really easy to miss the rock and just, you know, go too far past it and everything. It just takes, it's just not as ergonomic as a gun as the AR. Does that mean it's still not a good gun? No, of course not. You know, if this is your cup of tea, then go for it, man. Does that mean you shouldn't own one if you like ARs? Of course not. You know, go buy a freaking AK. They're fun. They're cool. They're neat. You know, I mean, it's just about having it. And I definitely recommend the Zastavas. You know, I've only heard good things about it. I haven't owned an M70 or the 5.56 variants, but this one right here is awesome. This one right here is fantastic. You can tell it's made well. You know, and again, after over 1,000 rounds of, and also I haven't cleaned it. You know, I haven't done, there's still all the carbon buildup inside of here and everything. I haven't lubricated it. I haven't cleaned it since I got it. You know, and I've had no issues with it. I'm just like that legendary AK reliability that people say. And it's just been, like I said, it's just been a treat. It really has. It is a very fun gun to go to the range and shoot. It's just, it's difficult. It's a difficult gun to shoot. It really is. You got to really practice and you got to really dry fire and you have to really put in the reps. It's nowhere near as forgiving as an AR. And there's a reason why AR-15s are being picked over AKs still, you know, in most countries. So, other than that, I think that wraps us up. Thank you guys for being so patient with us. I know it's been like 7 months since we placed another video. Sorry, we've been really busy. You know, COVID stuff kind of hit really hard and then ammo got super expensive and all that good stuff. So we've all been working like crazy and all that crap. But we finally got it to you. And the verdict is, if you see one of these for a decent price, pick it up. Especially if you're looking for an AK. If you're looking for a short little crink style AK, this is great. This is fantastic. I would 100% grab one of these. They're fun. They run well. 7/39, still pretty cheap, 40 cents around as of making this video, which is great. And that's really all I have to say about it, I like it. I dig it. Other than that, y'all have a great rest of y'all's day, and thank you so much for all the really nice comments we've gotten, all the views on the Stoker video and everything. If you haven't seen that video, go check it out. It's okay, but people seem to think it's good, so I'm happy about that. I thought it was, I can't say that on here. I thought it was doo-doo, but thank you guys, seriously. We really appreciate it, and I wouldn't have made another one if I didn't get as much support as I did from the little videos, so I really, really appreciate you guys.
Hey, we spent a lot of time on that intro.
We spent a lot of time on that intro. I'll give it to you. So I guess since you've stuck around past this part, we'll talk for a minute. I don't know where this channel is gonna go. I want you guys to to tell me and everything, because it might just peter off and slowly turn into nothing. I've got another guy that's working on stuff for this channel supposedly, but he's in college right now, so things are pretty hectic for him. Just let us know what you want to see. If there's anything you guys want to see, let me know. If these videos aren't the content that you guys want, like if you don't like this sit down table style, say something, just let us know. Say, hey, I'd really you guys try this out. Like do something at the range and show us how you shoot and show us drills and stuff like that. I'm not the most proficient shooter, but I do shoot a good bit. I can't get as much time as like Lucas Bodkin or Mike from Grand Thumb and all that stuff. But I do have a decent bit of trigger time, and so we have shots. So I don't mind showing some stuff off. Of course, I'm sure that anything that I could show, they've probably shown better. But that doesn't mean anything. So yeah, so if you guys have any questions, anything you want to look at, let us know and we'll try and get it. This is all funded by us, so that's another thing. So we're not accepting any money from anyone else right now, especially because we have like 5 videos up, so there's no point. But other than that, you guys have a blessed day. And thank you guys for watching. Brandon Herrera out.